Hey guys, it's Texas Tycoons. We're back again for yet more Galaxy Relaxing. It has been so long since the last part that I forgot where we're going. We're at the...
Hold on, get the mail, get some one-ups.
We're at the engine room, right?
Mail toad.
Oh. I thought I was going to go over to the ship over there. What's up?
We'll put it right...
Clang.
You're going to clang it every time you pick it up.
Well, I'm done with the drink.
Fuzz, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, I'm James.
I'm Sean.
I'm Alex.
And today, I guess we're talking about Star Wars first?
Yeah.
So today we're talking about Star Wars. I don't know if we've ever talked about Star Wars on this channel, but probably not. And Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker just came out.
And by just, we mean like a week or so ago?
I think two weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, the engine, where's the engine room? I'm stupid.
James, can you please direct him?
There should be some kind of little portal thing, like on the opposite side of Rosalina. You see that beam?
Oh yeah.
So Rise of Skywalker, first of all, is for what it tried to do, I think it did it did a pretty good job of, like, obviously the Emperor was alive, which is BS in my opinion.
See, and here's where my opinion differs, right? Because there was a series of comics called, I think it was called Dark Rising or something like that. There was one particular arc in the comic books where the Emperor comes back, and everybody seems to be okay with that in the comics, but when that happens in the movies, everyone's like, "Oh, that's bull." You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's because nobody that sees the movies, or no casual viewer, reads the comic books. It still doesn't make any sense.
well, okay. So here's my take on it, right? Okay, and you're probably like, "Oh, you're full of it," but so when Palpatine was telling Anakin, he's like, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Plagueis' apprentice was Sidious, was Darth Sidious, was Palpatine. That was who Darth Plagueis' apprentice was. Darth Plagueis knew how to cheat death. He taught Sidious how to cheat death. He was not lying to Anakin. He was telling him the truth. Mm-hmm. But he actually figured out how to do it. So I think that's what happened, and he was just using that to get Anakin to listen to him. That was what I got out of it. You know what I mean? Whatever.
I don't see how he became part of the Death Star though, because it's basically like he was attached to like this robot thing.
Well, I think that was just like life support. Yeah.
Like, I would get
I got GLaDOS vibes from
if he came back from being choked to death or shocked to death or stabbed to death, but it's just so outlandish.
Well, of course, but it's Star Wars, man. It's like you can't really expect it to make as much sense.
But anyway, Palpatine is, the spoilers, by the way.
Oops.
Well, you can see that from the trailer, but what we're about to talk about is spoilers. Palpatine is alive, so whatever. You get past that.
Get past that.
And then
the first 20-25 minutes of the movie were very rushed because of how The Last Jedi was almost real time. That kind of hurt him a little bit.
It kind of felt like a YouTuber jump cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where do I need to go?
Also, we still don't know what any of these planets are.
Well, okay.
That's why I like Rogue One, because how hard is it to just put the title of the planet on the screen?
Because Star Wars has never done that. The actual episodes never did that.
So the desert planet that they were on was the Dusty Dune Galaxy from this game.
The Dusty Dune Galaxy. I like to think, well, okay, because people get mad. It's like, well, this is a desert. Like when people saw Jakku, they're like, it's not Tatooine, but Tatooine's the desert planet. But where is it in Star Wars where Tatooine is the only desert planet? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's like I was personally okay with there being more than one desert planet, just like I'm okay with there being like. You know,
what are you doing?
I was trying to get up there.
That's obviously not the path.
Oh, go.
Well, there was something up there that he could hit, just like that button.
Yeah, I need to get that button.
So
well, I need to get that.
He could
again. Is it down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get yourself a mush. So anyway, I think the question might be like, where exactly in respect to the other planets?
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. And the casual
board
viewer is not
game,
going to
yeah.
care. The more hardcore, the more like into it, I think they're going to care. But do I go over there? Yeah, there's a way I can get up there. I'm just being
Go
stupid.
straight up.
Okay, well, come on.
I'm eating cereal.
Some say that guy wobbles,
Suck it.
but he don't really, sir. Okay. Oh.
So the script, as usual in Star Wars movies, was a little mediocre.
I mean,
but
it's like
that's
all the ones
expected.
Yeah, because all the ones since even in the original trilogy, like Return of the Jedi, I love Return of the Jedi. By the way, it's not my favorite original trilogy movie. That would definitely be Empire Strikes Back, but Return of the Jedi has such a weird script, but it's really good and I love it. I think people take Star Wars a little more seriously than they really need to. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be this super... I mean, of course, it's like the most well-known media franchise ever, but, you know, it's still... It's a space fantasy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to be sci-fi. It's not supposed to be, like, you know...
It is sci-fi.
Well, no, it's more science fantasy. It's...
Oh, yeah.
It's a soap opera, as George Lucas himself put it. But in space.
George Lucas, yeah, and George Lucas was really weird, man. His original plan for Return of the Jedi, I've read, is not have Obi-Wan and Yoda and Anakin be ghosts at the end, but actually have them come back to life. So, you know, take everything else with a grain of salt. You know, Emperor coming back, I can understand that because he had the power. You know,
unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
Can't do that without power.
You can't do it without unlimited power. You need unlimited power.
I feel like Episode 8 kind of restricted Episode 9 in a lot of ways, but like they did the best that they... I think they made the best out of 9 that they could after the restrictions of Episode 8.
And like a lot of people don't like Episode 8, which is fine. You're allowed to not like a movie. And that's another thing. People get so mad when I tell them that I liked Episode 8. It's like, you don't have to have the same opinion I do, you know? And
well, people get this mixed up in casual conversation a lot. They say that an album or a movie is better than this one instead of saying they like it more than this one.
Yeah.
And you do that.
Well, yeah, it's like you can like I'm of the personal opinion that that 8 of the 9 Star Wars movies are good. And the only bad one is Attack of the Clones. But can you... Am I nunchucks?
Well, you just did it. You just did it right now.
Yeah, no.
You said the only bad one.
Okay, well, in my opinion, right?
The only one you don't like.
The only one I don't like was Episode 2. But I say that in hindsight because, as a kid, I really loved Episode 2. But looking back on it, it's not as good as I thought it was. And I think they overplayed some parts of it more than they should have. Like the whole...
The action and the fighting.
The whole love story thing, honestly, was a little bit underwhelming. Can I get to the... No, I can't. Okay.
Probably had the best theme out of all the movies, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
the best
musically.
Yeah.
So my question is, who was in charge of writing the love story between Anakin and Padme?
George Lucas.
Okay.
He wrote and directed all of the prequel trilogy. Okay. And I think, in some ways, that's a good way to do it because you have consistency throughout all of your... throughout all the movies in the trilogy. That was the only trilogy in which he did that, because the original trilogy wasn't like that. The first one was directed by George Lucas, but the other 2 were not. And then the sequel trilogy, of course. I feel like J.J. should have directed all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, you know... Oh, wait, I gotta not do that. How do I get this guy? Okay. Because he did a really great job of... The Force Awakens was, I think, a little bit safe, but it was okay. It had to be safe because you're bringing the series back after like 10 years because the last one was in 2005. Episode 7 came out in 2015. You're bringing the series back after 10 years. You have
Jenga.
Jenga.
I was about to say, can we play Jenga for the next video?
Oh, I need to get that. I need to have this guy follow me so I can get that mushroom.
I'd like to do one video like where we play an actual board game or an analog game.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. I gotta get to the top of the chinga now.
Finn would have been a full-on Jedi by episode 9 if J.J. Abrams directed the 8th movie.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's
because
kind of what I'm pissed about.
because I think the original plan was for Finn to not be a Jedi, but he showed a lot of like Jedi, not really skill, but like potential in episode 9, because there were things like he's like, it's like, I think, was it Rose who asked him like, how do you know this? But like he's like, I can feel it. Like that's very much
just a feeling.
It's a woman's intuition.
Woman's intuition. But like that's very much like something not a full Jedi, but like somebody who has the Force would say.
It's something. It's a power that some would deem unnatural.
I thought the fight between Rey and Kylo Ren on the
Fights.
in the waves.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I thought that was
Really good.
That was a really good fight. That was probably the best fight in the whole trilogy. There are only like what, 2?
Yeah, and that was, I think, that was actually one of my main disappointments with Episode 8 was that it's been a tradition in Star Wars at the end or somewhere in the movie that there is a saber fight, and it was a tradition, right? Every Star Wars movie has it,
as well as R2D2 and C3PO.
and they were both in it in Episode 7 and Episode 8, but that was my main gripe with Episode 8. And the other part was, I'm still, even 2 years down the line, still on the fence about Leia's Force power. Okay, I was totally happy with her being like Rey's sort of mentor at the beginning of Episode 9.
Yeah. She kind of pulled a General Grievous in Episode 8.
She pulled a General Grievous?
Yeah, because like in Episode 3, General Grievous, like he leaves the ship, but like he gets back on it.
Yeah, but he has a grappling hook to do that.
Yeah, just give Leia a grappling hook. I think that would be a nice homage. Give her like 4 lightsabers.
Say psych right now.
Like she just has a collection of lightsabers. You know, just make.
I actually really liked
like
that.
he was a general. She's a general.
I really liked that they gave Leia a lightsaber because
cool.
they gave her a lightsaber in the comics and books. And I don't really remember what the actual like hilt design looked like, but it looked pretty similar to what was in this movie. And I really liked that Rey's lightsaber at the end of Episode 9.
Oh yeah, I was like, why not? You know.
Well, yeah, because I would have thought that she would have built it at the beginning of Episode 9. I'm like, well, I kind of want to have a scene where she builds it, but of course, Star Wars has never had a scene where they.
Oh shoot. So
the co-star. Yeah. Unless you want James to go now,
No.
Okay.
This is his job.
I've just been letting James be the ghost.
The Clone Wars, like, you know, it's outside the episodes, but the Clone Wars did have like a scene like where like students are building their lightsabers.
Well, it's weird because the way the Clone Wars does it was like far different than the way that
Like
other media shows that Jedi build their lightsabers.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene in Return of the Jedi, right? Like where Luke builds his just before he enters the palace.
Are you making me jump?
The palace.
Yeah. No. I remember that. Oh, come on. Can I not get there from
the
here?
Palace.
Can I not get...
Take that L. No, never mind.
What?
There's a star bits in the shape of an L.
Maybe you go up that. Oh wait,
I think there's like a wall jump section on the other side if you go around.
Here, we'll jump up here.
And then the end of the movie where
wait, hit that green thing.
Kylo Ren sacrifices himself to save Rey made a lot of sense because that's what Palpatine was talking about with the dark side and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
It's kind of ironic because the dark side can save your life, but.
Well, and at the end, Kylo also turns away from the dark side. He goes back to the light side. Yeah. Is there anything more I need to do over here?
Yeah, I think there was like some Voldemort kind of Horcrux thing going on in some way, like because Kylo Ren died, but then he came back, but then that was like Ben because of Leia. And I guess Rey was kind of dead, so I guess like the Palpatine.
She got better. She died, but she got better.
Palpatine part of her kind of just like escaped because she did.
The complete phasing of objects through reality was so BS. I thought because like they just keep making more and more rules.
Yeah, but every Star Wars movie has done that, and
no, it hasn't.
Yeah, it does.
Second, third.
Are we talking episode 2, episode 3, or episode 4, episode 5? Because the whole entire original trilogy was making stuff up as it went along.
Yeah, but what did the second and third make up? Or Rogue One or Solo?
Well, Rogue One and Solo, the Jedi weren't really an important part of the movie.
Yeah, but...
Wait. Oh, no.
But, like, the seventh didn't really make anything up either.
Well, it's it kind of did with the whole Force, interrogation thing, where Kylo could get information out of whoever he wanted to. But, like, then again, nobody... Oh, do I need to...
you can kind of read people's minds already, right?
No, that was never really done in any of the other movies.
Well, no, Yoda. Yeah. He's talking to Anakin. He could, like, tell him what he was feeling.
That's... I mean... I don't know if it's the exact same thing, but it's similar, I guess. Do I need to go up on top of these clouds?
Regardless, as soon as I saw that necklace snatched off of Rey's neck, I'm like, okay, literally anything is possible now.
Well, there was something in episode 4, Darth Vader tells one of the generals, he's like, the ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force. And I feel like Vader was saying that because he probably couldn't do it himself, but he knew that it was possible to, like, literally do anything with the Force. You know what I mean? What's up? Okay, this way.
And there's a mole.
Mole.
There's guacamole on the observation deck. And there's salsa on the Lido deck.
I think the biggest missed opportunity, I feel like they should have done more with Rose. And that's going to get me a lot of hate because everyone seems to not like her.
Oh yeah, what was this, like, 3-headed romance monster with Finn? He had, like, 3 love interests. It's like, what? Is this guy a player? Like, what happened with Rose? Like, where there was literally no, like, romantic chemistry between him and Rose whatsoever.
I think part of it was it got such bad attention in episode 8. It's like because she kissed him at the end, and everyone's like, "Well, don't do that in episode 9." But I'm like, if you've already done it, you might as well commit to it. If you're gonna have there be a like romantic interest, commit to it.
She shouldn't have saved him at all if he was gonna sacrifice himself like that. That would have been an awesome death.
If he would have just died right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have made way more sense than Luke coming out of nowhere and fighting Kylo Ren.
I want all units to fire upon that man.
Set all guns to fire. Oh shoot! Oh, I gotta go in there. Okay, I see what I gotta do. I see what I gotta do. How can you do?
Me on a rainy day.
Let's come back.
He coming back.
Okay.
Keep flying.
That was another missed opportunity. They didn't have Watto in this one.
He said credits.
No Watto, that's messed up. Home slice. I don't know.
There's some. I feel like Poe Dameron is probably the best actor in the whole trilogy.
Oscar Isaac's a really good actor. Honestly. Oh, shoot.
They should give him a lightsaber.
I feel like that's another thing that it's not the movies, but the other media does is everybody gets a lightsaber. It's like the whole oh no.
Yeah, I think I did that once or twice.
No, hurry up. The whole George Lucas's original idea for lightsabers was that they were going to be a lot more common than they actually were in the movies because there was like concept art of stormtroopers with lightsabers, but I would have been like, that's just.
I mean, anybody.
Oh no!
James, can you please do this part?
Yeah,
It's hero time.
it's hero time.
Okay.
Hero time!
I mean, anybody can hold a lightsaber, but only a Jedi could really be that good.
Good at one, yeah.
I think I honestly.
That's why Finn got his butt kicked by.
I honestly
Kylo
think Force Awakens is my favorite out of the trilogy.
I think it was a really good one, and like I said it before, it was the most safe of the new trilogy. But in terms of the best one, I'm still torn between it and Episode 9. Because it did a lot right. Episode 9 did. I mean, there were some things that didn't work, but like not every movie has to be perfect. And like that's another thing. These like people online get so mad about Star Wars, and like I understand that it's your whole entire childhood. It was mine too, but
Okay, should I do this or?
yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
It's not. It
please.
wasn't. It's not worth getting super like mad about it. If something is bad, let it be bad. If something is good, let it be
dear.
good. You know what I mean? And it's okay to like things that other people don't like. I mean, movies are an art form, and not everybody has the same taste. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's see.
Steers. This is a forgotten boss. Mole guy in machine.
It's reminding me of something from Odyssey.
Huh?
Got him.
Now I'm mad.
I hate
I
to
know
burst
I
your
gave
bubble.
it.
Oh, now I gotta kill you.
Oh, okay.
Got him. Can I pop this bubble? Pop L bubble.
Oh dear.
Pop that bubble.
And bubble.
I don't know. Overall, I really like the sequel trilogy, and people are saying the whole entire sequel trilogy didn't have to happen. Well, yeah, the whole entire prequel trilogy didn't have to happen. If the only Star Wars movies, if the only Star Wars movies that you like are the original trilogy, then nobody's making you watch any of the other
Am I
movies.
popping these?
5 and 6 didn't necessarily have to happen either.
It kind of did.
Nothing had to happen.
I mean,
Oh,
like,
if you want to be like that,
Like-
the whole
like-
Star Wars didn't have to happen
the
at
original
all.
Star Wars could have just been a single movie.
Well, I think George Lucas made it that way so that if the movie was a flop and nobody
Yeah,
liked it,
That's why it was called just Star Wars.
Star Wars
when
at
it came
first,
out.
yeah. It wasn't even called Episode 4 at first.
Star Wars.
But, yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like, I thought I was going to be the most, like, upset about people's reactions to Episode 9, because I was pretty upset when people didn't like Episode 8, and I did. Thank you. But I think now, after, like, going through that and, like, Solo, people didn't like Solo, but it's like, it was a good movie, too.
Solo.
So, I don't know, it doesn't bother me the way that it used to bother me. But anyway, with that said,
Yeah.
that'll just about do it with this episode of Galaxy Relaxy from all of us at Texas Tycoons. Are we still doing C on this one?
No, it's okay. Bye.
Okay.
May the force be with you.
Okay, bye.
bye.